Everybody, welcome to Storm Talk on this Tuesday. Got a few issues we need to address for the rest of the week here, and we'll break it down for you, of course, little by little. Here in Louisville, we've climbed, 4 degrees already in the past update. Dropped to 53, now 57. A lot of sunshine around for today, and with still a lot of dry air in place, it's going to be a really nice looking day. Now, we'll have enough layer of moisture in the lower layers of the atmosphere that cumulus clouds will begin to develop around, say, 1 or 2 o'clock today. Relatively flat looking, but there will be kind of a speckled look to the satellite image later on as we get some of that heating. That ground begins to heat up and warm air, of course, rises. That leads the cumulus clouds to begin to form. And that's it, really. Some of the models are trying to hint that a thunderstorm would develop, again, closer to, say, Danville to Columbia later today, but right now I just don't see enough moisture for that to happen, but we'll watch that. Otherwise, looking good today. To the west we go, and to Omaha, that is where our next system is. There's a warm front heading our way. Severe potential today out there is low end, marginal, but tomorrow begins to pick up a bit. Now, they've got it placed in St. Louis as the core area for severe weather, and it's not a high risk at all. It's only just level 2 or slight risk. For us, it's a level 1 west of 65. It wouldn't surprise me, though, that they would draw this in future updates. A little more of a slant to it to account for redevelopment. There will be some nighttime stuff that could hold together, and then I'm still kind of questionable on whether or not this can get to severe or not for the redevelopment tomorrow afternoon. If that potential continues to grow, then they would have to kind of draw it more like that. But we'll see. Either way, it's a low-end risk. Just letting you know that no matter where you're placed in the area right now watching this video, you have a chance at a thunderstorm that could be gusty for Wednesday and Wednesday night. Having said that, let's walk you through the setup. This afternoon, looking fine. As I mentioned, a few clouds around. That's about it. As we get into the overnight, you'll start to see the debris clouds, the cirrus, begin to blow in from thunderstorms during the evening tonight. By tomorrow morning, we'll get some activity as the warm front moves in. Some of that could be some thunderstorm activity that will hold together around lunch tomorrow. The question is, can some of that redevelop? Now, the latest RPM is not too excited about that opportunity, but I got to tell you, the potential is there for some redevelopment southeast of Louisville tomorrow afternoon. We'll see if that happens or not. We'll get a break, and then more thunderstorms, but this time around focused more closer to where the best wind fields are to our north, which can sustain them. The thunderstorms that we see during the daylight hours are more the pulse type. They develop, they can fall apart, develop and fall apart. These can actually keep going for a bit. Not really talking severe terms, but they could just keep going with the heavy rain, lightning, and thunder. And again, that looks to be to the north of 64 Wednesday night into early on Thursday. And Thursday itself, the front's still hanging out, so we can't rule out more thunderstorms that could develop. Right now, it just depends on where the front's placed. But in general, I think Kentucky and maybe even southern Kentucky has a better potential there. And then this front, that's a cold front at this point, becomes a warm front again and surges back north, setting the stage for the warmer surge of air coming our way. All right, let's look at the severe parameters. When you look at the Streff model, again, 40 knots is kind of like the benchmark I like for severe weather potential to maintain at least organized severe. Right now, even Streff is just, we don't go and get close. I mean, we get into the 25 to 30 knot range on shear, which is strong enough to produce some damaging winds in an isolated case. But really, most of the wind speeds are going to be like 45 to maybe 50. And some hail out of these. Because the Cape's instability is there. You're talking about instability about 1,500 to 2,000. That's enough for a damaging downburst kind of wind. The downdraft Cape tomorrow will be one thing to watch for that afternoon stuff. There could be cases of dime-size hail in a few spots. So again, the warning potential is not very high for severe weather tomorrow, but it's not zero. Dew points are up there, so there could be efficient heavy rainmakers in some cases because they won't be moving very fast. So we'll have to watch for some heavy rain for a brief moment and some decent lightning. All right, now here's the NAM model's interpretation of this. Here's the morning activity that tries to redevelop again around lunch into the early afternoon tomorrow. You notice it's not a completely solid line here. So a lot of you will get skipped with this afternoon chance tomorrow, but that potential is there for at least a downpour and a thunderstorm, so be aware of that. Here comes the break, and then here's the actual cold front. This is why the slight risk is out here, as that activity will then fire up to the west of us, and you can already see what's happening. Most of the energy is going to take that to the north of us across Indiana into Ohio is where your best chance will be for the thunderstorm activity for Wednesday night and Thursday. And then the southern parts is going to struggle to hold together. So that's the overall setup through Thursday. Again, it's a rain chance is not going to get to 100%, but it will be elevated, 40 to maybe 60% at times, mainly 40 to 50, something like that. That's what we're talking about. Just be aware of some lightning and thunder if you have outdoor plans. Now, heading into Mother's Day weekend, I think we'll get into Saturday fine when you're 90. 90 still on the table. 90 on Mother's Day itself is the iffy part because of the increase in moisture levels and the cloud cover and even some thunderstorms on Mother's Day. Could that prevent us from hitting 90? Yeah, it's possible. Either way, we're talking like 88, 89. It'll feel the same. Then we get into next week in general, and the pattern trying to slow down a bit, that we may have a stalled front in the region for some showers, thunderstorms that may kind of just linger for a while. We got a high pressure north and one to the east, and that may kind of allow for a fairly wet pattern to develop with daily thunderstorm chances for a good chunk of mid to late May. Let's hope that changes, but that's the way it's looking right now. So if you want to get some of that yard work done, and you don't want to deal with the higher humidity, and you don't want to deal with the risk of a downpour hitting you at any moment, really today is the day you want to take advantage of that. We'll talk tomorrow.